Hey YouTube, this is Moises from Singular Sound here in Oakland Park, Florida. And this is a new tutorial video about the essential MIDI commands any player needs to know when using the BeatBuddy and the Aeros Loop Studio together. I'm going to be using the Footswitch Plus to demo a few examples with the three pedals together. So without further ado guys, let's get into this video. And before we begin guys, we totally encourage you to update the unit over Wi-Fi to the latest firmware update. We keep on adding more features, so make sure to take advantage of them. We're going to leave a video on top of the screen that teaches you how to update the unit. The first MIDI command is the MIDI in start, record and playback function on the Aeros Loop Studio settings. Next part MIDI command using the BeatBuddy. And start and stop using the Footswitch Plus. This is a really good feature when using these three pedals together. So let's talk about the two cables that you're going to need. So the first cable, it's a 5-pin MIDI cable. You can find that on our website or in Amazon. And the second cable is the MIDI breakout cable. So that's basically the adapter that goes into the BeatBuddy into the Aeros. Okay, so before we begin, let's take a look on how to connect the pedals together. So plug the 5-pin MIDI cable into the out port of the BeatBuddy MIDI breakout cable. The output cable from the BeatBuddy, you're going to connect it into the MIDI in into the Aeros Loop Studio. So after they're plugged in, you can verify that they're synced together by changing the BPM. You can change that there is changing in both units. You can use the foot switch to tempo the BPM. This is very useful when you're on stage and when you're just ready to play your song. And yeah, that's very convenient to have the foot switch for that function. So the first command is the MIDI in start command. Let's go into the Aeros Loop Studio settings at the bottom. And we're going to see the MIDI in start setting. So we're going to be using the playback first. So what that means is that the BeatBuddy is going to start the intro fill. In this example, I disable the intro fills. And the Aeros is going to start just playing back without recording. This is my favorite setting. Remember, the right one records the top track and the middle switch records the bottom track. So now let's select record. So this means it's right after the BeatBuddy finishes the drum fill, it's going to start recording right away. And the last option is to disable both of them together. This means it's the BeatBuddy is going to start playing, and then you can use any of these two foot switches to start recording. It will not give you any visual, but you can start looping whenever you want. It will be in sync. So another way that the BeatBuddy controls the Aeros is by using the next part MIDI command. And you can find that on the main settings. Remember, you can hold the drum set and the tempo knob together to go into the BeatBuddy settings. And then you just go into the main pedal. I passed it. Just go down and it's going to say MIDI settings. There you go. And then MIDI out, since it's sending the signal to the Aeros. And next part. So for now, we're going to enable it. And then we're going to do another example, disabling the next part. So let's play something. So we have the fade in feature activated. So that's why it takes a few seconds to bring all the loops back. Let's change the drum set really quick. Something a little more jazzy with more ghost notes. This is one of the most powerful features on the BeatBuddy, to be able to change the drum set sounds to any beat. So we're going to hold so the BeatBuddy does the transition to the next part. So this is the basic way that you can control both units. The BeatBuddy has the master clock, and you can just change between parts just by having the transition fills on the BeatBuddy. And 2x2, as soon as you press the BeatBuddy to go to a transition to the next part, it will change automatically on the Aeros Loop Studio. So you can just go between parts like that. So now let's try the same example, but now disabling the next part command. So you can just go into the BeatBuddy settings again, main pedal, MIDI settings, MIDI out, and remember it's going to be on the bottom next part. I already disabled it, so let's just hear it. That kind of meant to be the B part. You can always change to the next part of the song by pressing the left switch on the Aeros. The left switch will say next part on the bottom of the screen. This is the verse, right? It's a little more groovier. So you can change the drum parts without changing the loops. That's what disabling the next part can do. There's a very good video by our dear friend Diego Paredes doing a bass looping jam using this feature. Make sure to check it out. We're gonna leave the link in the description. You can stop them and bring the drums and the loops by doing a single press on the right switch. The Footswitch Plus stops both units at the same time. But you can change it to mute only the drums using the mute pause function using the Footswitch. So that's the final MIDI command for this video. So you can go into the settings, main pedal, mute pause. So as default, it's MIDI activated, which means that both units will stop at the same time. In this example, we're gonna enable it. So it's pausing the drums, but not the loops. So this gives you a lot of flexibility when you want to mute just only the drums, or if you want to just mute the loops. So remember guys, everything is connected via MIDI, so everything is synced. So that's the mute pause function using the Footswitch Plus. So thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial using these essential MIDI commands. We're going to be putting out more videos like this, so make sure to subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram, and follow us on our forum. Keep rocking, keep looping, and keep doing what you love. Thank you guys.